All right there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of A Link to the Past Randomizer 2019 tournament in 2020. My name is Dazed Cloud. I'm joined in the booth today by Apathy Duck. How you doing there?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Can't complain. Looking forward to our match today. We got a little thing here between WeightyWords and Rywek. This is game one, open 7-7. Both of these runners are fairly well known. You want to give us a little background?
Yeah, WeightyWords, just a really solid runner overall. He actually won the SG Live tournament last year. So obviously a very strong competitor. Knows this game very well. Plays the vanilla game somewhat. It's got a pretty good time there. Rywek's a little bit more known in the French community. Just solid randomizer player. Really knows his routing and all that. So it should be a good match here. So we'll see.
Yeah, we're looking. I'm definitely looking forward to this. WeightyWords, his execution is fantastic. Like anybody who watched that SG Live final match between him and Gem, that thing was just nail biting all the way through. There, some really great things from him. And yeah, I'm not as familiar with Rywek here, but we are being simulcast over on Speed Gaming Francais. So if you're a little bit more interested in watching the French restream, if you're tired of listening to me, you can head over there if you want.
Yeah, and I think this run is going to be getting started fairly shortly now. And yep, there we go. Weightty is off, and Rywek will be joining shortly, and they'll get the streams synced up here in a second.
All right, both guys are going to be starting there with something from the Link's house. It looks like they're going to go for the uncle start here, but just a piece of heart there at the beginning.
Yeah, nothing in Link's house. That's really the first chance you have to really make a decision, starting in Link's house or the uncle, and then or Sanctuary, and then whether or not you get an item there could potentially pull you another way. We're getting 4 bomb drops off the first tree pull, which Rywek was also getting here in a second. Bombs are super valuable early on, so that's a great tree pull.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm gonna wonder here if either of these guys are gonna choose to go into the escape sequence now and just do a bomb escape, because isolating those 3 checks in escape there is always kind of annoying.
Yeah, generally the downside of coming to Uncle here first is what's nice to do is combo into escape, but you don't have a weapon coming in here, which you need to do the front of escape. So picking up the bombs here gives you the option of doing escape. The other thing you then have to worry about is you really can't do the dark rooms like that. So you will then isolate Dark Cross, potentially the back if there's a key in the front, or in Sanctuary because you won't have checked that chest by the time you're doing it. I do kind of like what Rywek was doing here, just going ahead and checking these, especially with the glove. I think with the glove, you 100% should be doing this. Weighty's going straight to the back was a little bit odd because now he won't be able to come to the front because he's going to be blocked by the same dark rooms. So I think Rywek's making the right call here, doing the front, and then since he has the gloves already, he can immediately do what Weighty is doing in the back right here. It could, of course, just not pay off, which is always the problem with Randomizer, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh, having a little trouble there with the bomb escape. This is the one difficulty with bomb escape is you gotta kind of... Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to do a fast strat here. Generally what I do is what he's trying to do now is just put this bomb right on the statue and alert the guard. The bomb will blow up through the statue in the chest right here and be able to get him. It's pretty safe. It's not that fast though. You kind of have to wait for one bomb to explode and then wait for the other, and just gets the key and decides to leave. That's okay.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate start there. That's not what you want to see.
Maybe because he got... that's okay. So he used so many bombs, he really couldn't go on any further. That was the problem. So I think I'd have preferred him trying to be a little bit more cautious there. Losing a couple seconds in that room right there is really not going to make or break the match. Just take it a little slower and go through those rooms. Make sure you get all the items, because now you've isolated them, and if something is there, you may be reticent to come back here at any point.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty much your last location there while you're doing these first kind of overworld checks. As Rywek shows us that we had a book in the back of Escape there, which gives us possible Desert Palace access and a few other things. WeightyWords is making his way into escape, not really finding much of anything there. Picked up a swag net there, jumping down into the Lost Woods hole, but going into blind, so it might actually get a little bit more interesting items here.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah, that's the idea, right?
Book is real bad early. Book's never great unless you explicitly need Desert Palace access. The problem with Book is, like, if it's kind of telling you to go to desert, but you can't clear desert because you don't have a light source, you don't even have a weapon at this point, unless you want to do bomb landmills, which no thank you. So you don't like seeing that. Hopefully he gets a couple more items. He did get Mirror though. That technically doesn't help right now. It will let him get up to Hera if he sequence breaks the old man dark room. That's a pretty easy sequence break. So most runners will do it. But right now, technically, the lamp or the mirror does not give us anything extra in logic.
Yeah, we need a weapon before you even want to even think about jumping up to Tower of Hera at this point here, because like Ether Medallion, nothing that we have is going to make any sort of help at all here. I'm kind of wondering though, like you got that early book, you're routing through the area there. Neither of those runners make that little bit of an effort to go up and check the ped. I mean, it's early, but that sort of information in a 1v1 like this can make a huge deal.
Yeah, I think I would tend to check the ped right there. Again, you're sort of spending 30 seconds. It is such a high variance play though, that like you're only saving 30 seconds if your opponent does it and you don't. But if it is pedestal, you've potentially just lost the game right there. So I think it would have made sense for both of these guys to check it. But they're both playing fairly aggressively, so it's not going to be a big difference here. The other thing is with that mirror, it makes a pretty efficient check on ped after doing Skull Woods. So if we see a Fire Rod, and of course we'll get Dark Word access sooner than later, potentially we could see ped check comboed in with Skull Woods as well.
Oh, definitely. We picked up a nice quality of life item there. We got ourselves a blue mail on WeightyWords side. Rywek will show us that there. It looked like it was in the back of the tavern as well. But library not having really much of anything, unfortunately. A little race game check real fast here on WeightyWords side before he'll probably show us exactly what he wants to do next. Just a heart piece there, so save and quit, and then probably going south, we assume. All right, so WeightyWords going to make his way down south. Going to give us a couple of not map checks here, but the dam check there. Same three-letter word, different order or something. And as he's picking up everything else as well, and uses the mirror there to make one of those blocks disappear and picks up himself up a heart container. This is a little bit faster way that you can check the dam here. Hopefully people have seen this a little bit time. And we're gonna see what exactly was under the water.
Nothing.
Yeah.
First.
Ooh.
I didn't even see what the bush crab had.
Bush crab is dropping fairies for us today.
Oh, it's fairies, jeez.
So while we're just kind of waiting for Weighty to knock out Mini Moldorm Cave here, they're kind of behaving for him. Looks like on Rywek's side there, that's the what sprite is that?
That's the Four Swords, I think.
The Four Swords Link one, and I know WeightyWords is using a vanilla Link sprite right there. That's the one he tends to favor.
Is that literally what it's called?
Vanilla Link, yeah.
I'm gonna yell at Weighty for that.
I'm pretty sure that now it's a chocolate Link sprite there, because red mail and stuff. Yay. So Lamp and Bombos there, so we can now get up to the top of Death Mountain, but still can't do anything with it at this point.
This situation I've seen come up before, where you pretty much have access to Hera, but you don't have a weapon, and you don't have. Well, they do have the light source. That part's out of it. But like it very well could be the seed is telling you to go to Hera, because there's a lot of reasons why it feels like the seed is pulling you that way. But because you don't have a weapon, you're sort of also kind of want to put it off in your head. And of course, there could just be a sword or a hammer or something like that in Hera itself. So it'll be interesting to see when these, if the seed doesn't give them a weapon, it'll be interesting to see when these guys go up into Hera.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, I've been up there in Hera many times. It's just kind of gone to like the big chest and going, okay, I've wasted all my time climbing, and then you open it, and then oh hey, look, there's the hammer just sitting there, and then you can go and beat him. Weighty's gonna do the fake flipper here with only 50 rupees. So I'm assuming this is just a hobo check really fast. Because with no Boon Pearl, you can't go into the waterfall cave, and without the money, you can't really be doing anything else, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is an interesting point. A lot of players don't like doing the fake flippers without the Moon Pearl, because you can't do any of those other checks. The one issue is now with the Ancilla stuff, you can do the fake flipper glitches up by the waterfall itself instead of having to come down here. So if you can do that, Hobo tends to get a little bit more isolated. So it makes more sense now to do this as a one-off check right here, and then you can just worry about Catfish and Zord checks later if the seed gives you the items you need to do the Ancilla glitches. And there's a lot of ways to do them, so it's likely you can do at least one of them, honestly. And I'm pretty sure Weighty does know them now. I'm not entirely sure about Rywek, but Weighty's pretty good at keeping up on some of these, the new tech stuff.
Yeah, I would have to pretty much assume that Weighty would know something like that. You know, you don't win SG Live and stuff like that without knowing some of the more newer glitches here. I'm still kind of hoping to see like a Hera pod, a couple of other things. He's going directly to the back.
Yeah, I don't think the Zelda stuff was out by SG Live. It's pretty new. I'm sure someone in chat will correct me about exactly what
yeah,
that
no
came
doubt
out.
there. It's kind of surprising. It was Weighty's going directly back to Dark Cross instead of going for the first 3 chests there. Just this is gonna be kind of bad here if this turns out to be the map, unfortunately. But we'll I guess we'll see what he's gonna get. Huh. All right, well, he gets a little plastic shield out of this, while Rywek, on the other hand, he's going to go up to the top of... He's going to go up and get his 3 bombs from Hobo as well. Both the runners kind of making the uncommon play here so far.
Yeah, like I said, the seed's kind of dried up. Yeah, all of your options are unattractive. The Book Kitchen Desert, and as I explained before, it's a little bit better now with the light source. You could theoretically complete it, although it's just a pendant. Although I think it is the green pendant. Yes, it is. So that's an extra item there. If it's not boots locked, it is completable. So desert, it looks a little bit more attractive. On the flip side, oh wait, we don't have a weapon. Hera is just as unattractive as Hera because we don't have a... Desert is just as unattractive as Hera because we don't have a weapon. Excuse me.
Oh, we got 3 options right now, and they all stink.
Yeah, it's pendant. Which pendant dungeon do you not want to complete, or which dungeon do you not want to complete? Is basically what it is. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rywek's probably making the most profitable choice, at least if you go from just pure density standpoint here, because you got the 3 back here with Sasharala, and then you've got the 3 possibly in there, and it looks like the map must be in the bottom of escape there in Zelda cell, because WeightyWords just noped right out after picking up that item there in the boomerang chest.
Yeah, I'll trust Weighty scouting much more than mine. I'm sure I know the key was in the first chest on the way down, because that's what Rywek got. So I assume the map must be downstairs.
Yeah, and I guess we got a shovel there out of Sasharala, so we're still not really finding things, but, you know, now we've gotten an additional fetch quest to throw in with everything else that we found so far.
Yeah, and at this point, when you're doing Sasha, you're really priced into Eastern. Like you said, all the other options are equally bad. There's really nothing else for you to do. So if you already made the walk over here, it makes just... The only thing that really makes sense is to go ahead and go into Eastern. Like I said, all the options are bad. This one's also bad, but it's the closest bad one, so go into that one. It's also got the most items. Other Hera and there you go. There's
Yeah,
Mitz.
it turns out this is the right bad option.
Except that still at this exact moment gives us nothing.
Right.
We do not have Moon Pearl. That's not Dark World access yet. We still. Oh, with sword. Oh, geez. With a sword, we can do Aga, but we still don't have Pearl. You're not really going to want to do Aga without Pearl unless you've eliminated everything, and it has to be Pyramid. So there's something else has got to be in one of these bad locations. The Mitts are obviously a very good find, but right now it basically means nothing.
Yeah, no, we're sitting here still waiting to find out exactly where this Pearl is. I mean, both of these guys are chasing each other at this point. I mean, open mode is just, it's one of those things where at the early point, you can kind of gain and lose time through no fault of your own, just by making a slightly different routing choice, a slightly different order means you don't get mitts, until like 5 minutes after someone else. Now, things like that tend to even out because these are checks that usually people fill in later. But this is part of the difficulty of open mode is actually trying to figure out where it is that you need to go to find these items because you've got such limited information at the beginning.
Yeah, I think people tend to put a little bit too much weight on your exact early game routing. Like you said, a lot of these light roll locations are pretty dense. You're fairly unlikely to just skip them for the entire game. Unless like your opponent just so happens to completely god route it and go to the exact 3 locations they need to go to. The early game is all going to tend to even out over the course of a seed. It's really those late game decisions and just overall execution that really wins or loses seeds for you. But yeah, you can easily, you can gain 20 or 30 seconds in these light roll checks just from stuff that is out of your control. But you just have to kind of be able to ride those ups and downs and make it up later on.
Yeah, but we're going to get back to our final check back here in Eastern. Actually, this might be the big key. Hold on a second. I wasn't really paying attention. Okay, so there is the check in the big chest over here. Just in a second. Sorry, looking at chat. And yeah, find out if we're going to have to go dive yet another one of these dungeons without being able to beat it early. Answer's yes. That's just the map. So it looks like Armos Knights on top of everything also has an item.
Yeah, it's going to feel bad for both of these runners, but like I said, this is really the only option they have. So they're really just right on top of each other right now. Weighty, even though he looks behind, if anything, technically he may have a small lead. It depends if Rywek ever decides to go back to escape. The thing with skipping locations, and like when players have like small leads on like restream like this, you might be going like, oh, Rywek's ahead by like 6 or 7 screens, but he's skipped locations to get that lead. That lead is only going to materialize itself over the entire course of the seed if he never goes back there. So we'll see what happens, how buried this Moon Pearl is, and he may be drawn back to those escape checks, in which case Weighty will then, regain his advantage.
Yeah, with any luck, hopefully he just ignores it at this point. He comes up here, he finds Pearl, the old man just gives him Pearl or something like that, or, if he goes back into escape, yeah, he's going to kind of end up losing all of that time that he's technically gained through kind of an accidental bomb mishap. Ooh, just getting bullied by those things. Picks up another shield. Now, we're going to get the shovel check now, and I want to see what this thing is.
Yeah, the fetch quest items are slightly more attractive early on. Since listings are open, there's just a higher probability that something is actually there. So since Weighty's kind of gotten shoved down to this narrow path where, as you've been saying, everything is bad, checking the shovel here makes a lot of sense. It's at least something you found. You can at least chase it down. Sick Kid is, I don't think we found a bottle in Kakariko. I believe Sick Kid is still on the table, which is our other fetch quest that we can do right now.
Yeah, this is finding out that so far it doesn't look like the mountain is the right answer. The shovel's not the right answer. So let's go check Agana. Maybe he's the right answer here. But picking up some money there, Rywek found that it looked like there was a 300 sitting in the in Spectacle Rock here. So he's just gonna go ahead and pick this up, give him the Zora money, which is another one of these amazing single location checks that these guys have opened.
Yeah, that's a bad field to have to come all the way over there for just Zora money. I have not seen that bomb setup for that bomb jump before. That is really interesting.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people do it. It looks. I don't know how consistent it is. I don't know exactly if you'll just. I always feel like I'd fall right off doing that that way, but. Well, let's see here. Well, that is a. We got 2 pendants on Swamp and Skull Woods up there, and that looked like the 5-6 over on Thieves Town with that nice long map check that he gave us there.
Yeah, Rywek was at least able to know what this ether tablet is. It's nothing. You can just cross this off your list, which is you're kind of hoping for. Yeah, it's nothing. So we're fine. It's one of those checks that you weirdly root for it to be nothing when you don't have a sword, because coming back to the ether tablet is kind of a pain out of the way, and it's always potentially that your opponent might have been able to do it a little more efficiently.
Right. This is the most fun possible way to do
there it is.
Hera here. Oh man, poor Rywek.
Yeah, unfortunately,
sorry.
Moon Pro is not going to be in Hera. Weighty just snagged it. Weighty also showing off one of the only uses in this game for the L button that's not canceling a text box, which turns out is not useful in Rando. You can actually hash the L button to get out of those sandline pits. So he just went straight in there and walked right out of them, which is a tech you don't see very often. So that's pretty nice.
Wait, say again. You can do that?
I'm pretty sure it's just the L button too for some reason. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think the R button works. It's the L button, and you can just kind of keep moving on out.
Oh, I'm testing that one later.
You almost always have a weapon. You're not just you're just gonna murder them. But if you ever do get stuck in there, yeah, you can. I think you need to mash it. You don't hold it.
Rywek is finding himself in a very poor thing there, deciding that, you know what, screw it, I am just gonna take out the cape and hold the wall here so he doesn't get hit. That was not the best location to find yourself in, unfortunately, without everything. Weighty picked up the flippers on the Weighty picked up the flippers over on the desert ledge there, so we've got he's got a little bit more things that he can start looking for now. Still no weapon, though.
Yeah, no weapon. Usually you're pretty excited about seeing a red crystal in Thieves Town, because as soon as you have Dark World access, you can go do Thieves Town. Having no weapon in this situation is the one time you're not really excited about that, because you can't kill blind without any sort of weapon, even the Samaria, the sword, or the Cane of Myrna to do damage to blind. Unfortunately, bombs do not work there.
Rywek is just having the most fun here climbing without any sort of weapon. He's having to use bombs, he's having to blow up switches, he's having to use these pots to kill the beetles. I mean, this is
I think if Rywek
not a good day on his side here.
I think maybe Rywek was thinking, well, there's 2 items on the mountain and then potentially 2 items in Hera. I think maybe if he thought about it a little more and he thought about desert, even though it's just, potentially just as locked as Hera is, it's a little bit easier to get through those rooms without a weapon. Going to the right side, you'd still have to need bombs to get through the popos there, but those aren't too bad to deal with. So he may be regretting this, even if it's not just for the fact that the Moon Pearl is not going to be here, unfortunately.
Yeah, the best case scenario here is he opens up that big chest and he gets a sword or something, and then he can kind of save himself the time that he spent up here.
Yeah, if there's a weapon in here, especially if it's like hammer, all of a sudden this play doesn't look nearly as bad for Rywek. But with the fact that Weighty, we know where the Moon Pearl is, Weighty has it. Yeah. There's just so many locations open up in Dark World. It seemed very unlikely anything was going to be there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate right there. Now, on the WeightyWords side, while we've been kind of watching Rywek have to do a very unconventional Hera strat there, he's picked up the 2 items outside of in Thieves Town there. It looked like it was I think that might have been like Bombos and something else as well. Looked like Bombos and 10 10 arrows, something like that. Oh no, it was Quake actually. Sorry, I guess our tracker there is given a little bit.
Yeah, so Weighty has all the medallions, so medallions can be pretty annoying since they only unlock the dungeons that they open. One of the more annoying items to hunt for in this game. So having all 3 of them, that's at least one thing off your mind that you don't have to worry about for the rest of the seed. And speaking of dungeons, I didn't even really take a look at what our crystals are. It looks like we got a Pendant Swamp Palace and a Pendant Skullwoods to go for Pendant Desert. So everyone's favorite potential hover seed coming up.
Yeah, Weighty's making his way over to Catfish here. This is kind of the fun part when nobody has weapons, and you've got to you can't go. You don't really want to go into dungeons right now. So this is one of these times where these guys are actually prioritizing overworld checks, just going, please give me something to do.
Yeah, just finding a sword would be just super.
We are so Weighty's at least going to get all of these flipper checks in here. So I think that was his plan with coming over here in the first place. This is some once he got solid routing.
Yeah, once he got those flippers, this route made a lot of sense. I missed where the flippers actually were. I think he got them when I was looking at Rywek's Hera. Were they in Village of or Swamp? Or not Swamp, Skull. I guess it is a duck thing. Oh, they were on Desert Ledge, so yeah, that desert play really paying off for Weighty. So that makes sense when he why Weighty just did the came straight to North Dark World, picked off the some of the skull locations and came over, especially since Skullwoods is a pendant dungeon. Hopefully he won't have to come back there when he finds the fire rod.
Yep. We're gonna get a mushroom check here from actually another one of those. Just the routing here, just kind of working for Weighty just so well. Being able to just picked up that mushroom from the waterfall cave because he saved his portal. He could just come directly back over, turn it in, and be rewarded with finally something to kill things with.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna break open a lot of the seed. I kind of expect Weighty's gonna go back to Village of Outcasts and probably could do Thieves Town. He still doesn't have the hammer though, which is another reason why he'd want to put off Thieves Town. Also, no boots. Boots makes Thieves Town a lot easier to do, a lot quicker to do. But you really won't put off Thieves Town because you don't have boots.
All right, Rywek finally here at 26 minutes there picking up his Moon Pearl. So he finally got his Dark World access now, and he's going to go down, pick up his flippers. Hopefully he gets a chance to get up there and get that mushroom, which leads to his thing. And that's a flute on the pyramid right there. So everything coming up Weighty right now. The routing is just giving him everything he needs right now.
Yeah, that Moon Pearl and flippers, all of his routing after that made a lot of sense. It's really just opening the seat up for him, and he's getting a significant advantage early because of that.
Yeah, he'll get to flute around, find all sorts of additional things here, but the flute's not overly useful right now. He can go check to see what's in Mire Shed. He can check Checkerboard Cave, but other than that, it doesn't really open anything. You've already been... Well, I guess he hasn't been up the mountain yet, but still, he could beat Hera, but we've seen that. There's nothing in Hera to help him.
Yeah, at this point,
I need the hammer.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think he's really going to go, because the seed's broken open for him a little bit now. He's not going to go up to Death Mountain unless he either gets the hammer or hookshot and has access to the East Death Mountain area. There's not a lot. There's only the Old Man check, the 2 Spectacle Rock checks, Hera and ether. So I mean, it's a decent amount now with mirror, but there's another 8 checks, 7 checks on the east side, and then the second he gets over there, he can also do Dark Death Mountain if he finds either hookshot or boots. For even more checks. So he's probably going to put that off until the game forces him to go up to Death Mountain to make that play. And we know this seed's not going to force him to go up because we've seen those locations already. So I really doubt Weighty is going to go up there before he finds hammer or hookshot.
Yeah, I would be shocked if he doesn't just go directly into Thieves Town and clear a little bit out of that. Now, whether or not he'll finish Thieves Town is kind of hard to say because you're gonna go with those mirrors there.
Yeah, with the hammer Thieves Town, that's one of those locations that I just go, if the seed's gonna beat me that way, so be it. I try not to worry about it too much. I know some runners put a little bit more weight into putting off Thieves Town, but it's still, there's 4 items in here. If the big chest does have the 1 item you can't get, then it's still 3 items. Plus you get a crystal. Plus in this seed, it's a red crystal. I feel like putting off Thieves Town just because you don't have the hammer right now, it's a pretty thin play to make. And like your opponent is, also likely to do the same thing at this point. So I just feel like it's not really worth stressing about.
Yeah, it's hard to say though. But at the same time, if you go through here and you leave something in that big chest, that's something that can switch the momentum over for your opponent really quickly. If they happen to say go down to Hype Cave, grab themselves a hammer, and then just this.
Yeah, but you can't always be worried about your opponent god routing everything. I did like what Weighty did there, where he cleared out the rest of Veljack House before coming in here. If there is a hammer or even boots, just to really speed up this dungeon there, you definitely want to get those before coming in here. So it's nice safety checks. They're right there. That you don't really get much efficiency by doing them afterwards. So it makes a lot of sense to grab them before coming in here. And Rywek, it looks like he still hasn't. That's right, he still has his sword. So he just did the first 4. Because he cannot complete the dungeon. So this makes more sense for him. Unfortunately, we know he's going to have to make his way up to the north Dark World areas. I think this play is more... he's being lured by the Hype Cave play, which has 5 items. So it does make some sense. I think with the flippers, though, and the fact that you haven't done the water checks, North Dark Hyrule gets a little bit more isolated. And since there's a fairly big hole and at the end of that, I think the North Dark high roll checks probably was the better play overall. And again, I know I'm doing hindsight bias for the thing that's correct, but I believe even in a vacuum, that was the better play.
It's so hard to tell, like it's one of those things that when we get the advantage of being able to sit here and like nitpick and kind of go like, okay, well, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. Both runners deciding to nope out of Thieves Town there, just deciding that, I don't want to leave that big chest behind.
Yeah, I don't like this from Weighty, to be honest, for all the reasons I said. It's very possible that your item is in Thieves Town. And you get a crystal, you get a 5/6. What's our other 5/6? Is Eastern? It looks like, yeah, Eastern. So all you need right now is a bow, and you have Pyramid Fairy. If you do Thieves Town, so especially let's say the little bit of a contrived situation, but that bow is in Thieves Town. You're really putting all that stuff off. Just to guard against the kind of long shot chance that your item is in. There is an item you need in the big chest.
Rywek went down to K45 to check to see what he got out of that. Didn't get anything. He came back up here to go get the smiths and kind of do this quick turn in so he could take the purple chest with him down all the way and find out if that's going to be anything for him, because right now we're 30 minutes in. Weighty's got a significant item advantage over Rywek at the moment here. Finds his first sword on the smiths and gives him there were words coming out of that.
Yeah.
It looked like.
And like you may be looking at this, it's like this seems like really inefficient routing, going all the way down to digging game, then coming back up to the frog. Why not just get the frog on the way there? The problem is you can't do the digging game with a follower. So this is 100% standard routing right here, where you do the digging game, you come back, get the frog, you do the frog turn in, hammer pegs, get your chest, and then with the loadout they have now, where they have book and mirror, you can check Bombo's tablet, you can check the purple chest, you can now combo in hype cave. So this is it's pretty standard routing. It's pretty efficient, so you're not going to get much better. And there's that bow I was talking about. So if it is Pyramid Fairy, Pyramid Fairy is now in logic. Weighty may be kicking himself with not doing Thieves' Town because he's gonna have to walk all the way back there later on, and that is a significant walk. It does take up a chunk of time just to go from one of the save and quit points to Village of Outcasts. So, like I said, I kind of wish he just did the dungeon.
Let's get a hype cave check here. See exactly if this is where our hammer was, and if these guys are going to feel smarter. They're just going to feel like we've wasted some time here. So we get just a red rupee, followed by some bombs, and a red rupee, and a red rupee, and some bombs.
Yay. Yeah, I mean, that seat's opening up a little bit now. Weighty showing off, you might go, where's the chest? You actually don't need it. You still have the NPC follower flag attached to you. As long as you mirror right in this turn-in area, the game will give it to you. I don't know why Weighty's bothering to do... Oh, or he doesn't have... Oh, he just forgot the chest, apparently. Okay. I'm not sure what happened to him.
Maybe he's going to show us something off that we are not familiar with. But yeah, from what I can say, he just abandoned that.
Yeah, the problem is the second you mirror to Light World, that flag I was talking about goes away. So you can see, well, Rywek he had the chest following him. That glitch is really only useful if you have boots, because you can dash around the overworld with the chest not behind you. We'll ask him about that. That had to have been... I think maybe he messed up his mirror when he went into Cave 45, because I didn't see it there, and like when I didn't see it there, I was like, oh, he's doing the glitch, and I just didn't think about it. So I missed what exactly happened.
Yeah, that one's a kind of a strange one. I have no idea.
Yeah, and I said there's no reason to do the glitch without boots.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, at that point, you're showing off is the only thing.
The problem with the chest is it's one of the followers that you leave behind if you dash. So you have to walk there, but if you do that glitch, you can keep the flag with you till the turn in, and you can dash there, and it makes it a lot more efficient. So, definitely strange.
Rywek is going to make a play here. He's opening up Swamp Palace now. He can't actually do Swamp Palace, but he can check the second chest. Right, the first chest always has a small key, and then you can go in and check that second chest in there to find out, is that where my hammer is? And it looks like Weighty's doing... These guys have got some, like, hive mind right now.
I can't believe Weighty is doing this. This doesn't... Weighty has the sword... I can't believe either one of them are doing it. I can kind of believe Rywek is doing it, because Rywek might be feeling like he's struggling a little bit with that early Hera play, messing up the bombs. He may be making a little bit of a Hail Mary here. I don't know why Weighty's doing this. He can do Eastern, he can do Thieves' Town, he can get the Pyramid Fairy. I mean, I guess Eastern they've already cleared out, so Pyramid Fairy plus Thieves' Town is, what, another 4 items? Because Weighty did the top. Yeah, I guess this makes sense, but there's only one check here, so I guess it's not too bad. It's going to kick you out really quick.
Yeah, that's the thing, and if Hammer is here and you pull Hammer there, you feel like you've just gained a massive advantage on your opponent here. But like, yeah, it's not likely. I haven't seen it happen in a while. It seems to happen in bunches. I don't know why, but yeah, it's not here. Rywek kind of made the decision there that he was just gonna go back, and I guess this might be a finishing Thieves' Town, or is this gonna be he's gonna go north side and get Graveyard Ledge and all of that stuff?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Usually I can tell where people are going, like, way before they get there, but so it does look like he's going to be doing the play Weighty made a lot earlier. I think the things Weighty snagged at the time, it was the sword up here, which was huge. But Rywek already has the sword from the Smith's check. Master Sword is obviously still good to get. That may be the only sword they ever get for the rest of the seed. But it's not really going to break the seed openers as much as it kind of originally did for Weighty.
Oh, and that, it turns out that you wanted to go to Meyershed because you could pick up a powder and the fire rod there. So congratulations, you now have another dungeon completable for yourself there. But I think, if I remember seeing right, oh, that's just a pendant. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought we had seen both items out of Skull Woods. So, oh god, are we going hammerless ice here?
I mean, this is where I remind everyone that I'm no longer in this tournament. So when I question runners routing, assume they know what they're doing more than I'm doing. But I mean, for me, like, the fact you can do Pyramid Fairy right now, that would draw me so hard. Even though you've done half of Thieves, you've done most of Eastern. Like, we know there's an item on Armos. There's at least one item in the back of Thieves Town. Sure, you still don't have the hammer, but then you get Pyramid Fairy, which is 2. Pyramid Fairy is not something all the time, but the seed is drying up so much, and you had such an early Pyramid Fairy available to you, and you got to do those dungeons no matter what. I would definitely be going there, but I wouldn't have that fire rod, and I wouldn't have the powder.
Yeah, part of me is also at this point kind of wondering, like, we haven't checked pod, and if pod, a lot of times we'll have our hammer there. There's what, 5 checks in pod, so there's a good chance that that's where your progression is going to lie here. But like, Weighty's going to go ahead, he's going to knock out Hera, find out that this pretty much isn't what he needs as well. See if he picks up that money there, if he wants to, or did he already do Zora? I'm trying to remember. I know he went up there, but I don't remember if he had done it.
And Weighty proved me wrong. I said it a while ago that he's not going to come up here before getting the hammer or the hook shot, because we know the seed's not going to draw him up here. But oh boy, maybe I should start writing these questions down. Maybe I'll just ask Weighty what was going on the entire time. I don't know.
This is one of those seeds where it's not obvious. There's nothing here that is like screaming, this is where you need to go. There's a lot of single things, like there's some unattractive options, like kind of doing Thieves Town without the hammer there.
Yeah.
Nothing's easy for these guys so far, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've been talking about this Pyramid Fairy play too. The other thing is, pod is starting to look like a distinct possibility here. You can combo in pod with Eastern kind of nicely right now. You can, go do Eastern and then come and mirror, or go to pod in the Dark World, mirror to Eastern, because you can finish that one, so you might as well do it first, and then you can take your mirror back if Eastern comes up empty. The only downside of that play is you can't knock off the Pyramid Fairy checks before that, but if it's really just the 2 Pyramid Fairy checks versus doing the pod checks relatively efficiently, I think I would lean towards just going ahead and doing pod at that point. Because it is open with the bow. The only thing we can't do is finish it without the hammer. And hammer and pod happens. Of all the hammer lock dungeons or half locked hammer dungeons, hammer shows up in pod the most. Mostly just because there's the most locations there, so it's not surprising. And really, all that is locked by it is Helma, whereas like ice locks a significant amount, swamp locks most of it, and Sword Rock you can't even get into. So.
Yeah, it's just trying to figure out exactly what we should be doing. Pod does look extremely tempting at this point.
Yeah, like I said, I'd be thinking the 2 red crystals you can do.
I'm just trying to figure this out.
And Pyramid Fairy. That's where I'd be going.
It seems like that would be
maybe I'll look pretty smart because
sense.
We kind of know everything else besides those. So the answer's got to be somewhere in there. I don't really think we've missed anything else that can be done.
Now, in this case, knowing part of the reason I think both of these guys have put off pod for as long as they have is just because you have a MITS entry into Dark World, and you can only do that over at Village of Outcasts, which just really takes a lot of time to walk over.
That is a good point. Actually, can we? Yeah, you'd have to come North Dark Hyrule right now. So you couldn't even. Well, you could do Thieves Town and come north. It's a long walk. So I mean, Weighty doing these checks kind of makes sense. Kind of when I made that comment way back when, I didn't think the site C was going to dry up this badly. But again, I would have expected those dungeons to be done before this too. So you know, it could be in one of those dungeons that they're avoiding, not even be in pod.
It could easily just be sitting in the back of Thieves Town, and then everybody feels silly,
Yeah.
and that's where we go here.
I'm gonna feel I'm rooting for that because I'll feel vindicated in what my decisions would have been. Just I do the second I can get a dark roll and I have a weapon, I am doing Thieves Town. Hammer or no hammer, I'm doing it.
Right, WeightyWords finally at 43 minutes and basically 30 seconds here is going to pick up his first crystal. That is the first crystal for both runners at 43 minutes. Rywek picking up his Master Sword as well here. With this being said, since we're going to get a couple of like repeat checks here from both runners, go ahead and if you could give these guys a follow. This seems just being mean to these guys, and they're putting themselves out there for our entertainment there. So if you could give them a follow, I'm sure they would definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd kill for an actual jet seed this tournament. Like, dear Lord, everyone has been like this. Just some very silly thing.
I mean, you're telling me the ones that I played were just slogs of 2 hours. The ones that I've commentated have all been like something like this. I'd love to be done in like an hour and a half one of these times.
Game 2 of Zero Christos was so close to being a jet seed, and then it was right side big key, and Samaria was nowhere to be found. And it was, oh boy, was it a thing?
That sounds fun. So here's Rywek about to go ahead and he's gonna figure out that. Turns out when he kind of messed up those early bomb escape here, that it didn't matter. There's nothing in here that he needs. But so he's going to give this time back a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, this is what I was saying really early on, where this only ever pays off for you as a skip if you never come back. And unfortunately, the seed dried up. It's forcing him to come back. At this, you know, Rywek still has other options. He could be doing the plays that... It's even weird to me that Rywek is making this play over Weighty, putting off Thieves Town and Eastern. He's already made. He's got to feel a little bit behind in this. And if the answer is here, you got to think you're probably already done in this seed because of those early bombs. The fact that you could have done it right off the bat. So I think I'd preferred him just to leave this skipped, and if this is how he loses, then so be it.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that, especially because like this is one of those times where you have to know who you're playing. Like you're playing someone who has had just a little bit of success in this format here. So if anything, it might make sense to be even more aggressive than typical. The one thing I'm kind of hoping Rywek does after this is since he walked down from Zor, he's still got his Dark World portal there. He can walk and go and finally give us that amazing pod check that we've been waiting for the better part of the last 10-15 minutes. While Weighty goes ahead and he's going to tell us if Thieves Town is going to be an issue here for anyone.
Yeah, think of a guy like Weighty. Weighty is just extremely well-rounded. Like, he's not like necessarily like one of the top tier executors, like a Boyne or a Zero, but he's a very solid execution. So he's just always going to be just going through these rooms efficiently, doing everything correctly, and like, you know, his routing is just really good. He's got really good game knowledge, so he doesn't really have any weaknesses you can necessarily exploit. So you just feel like you have to play a solid game against him, and when things start going off the rails, it's kind of hard to come back.
Yeah, and looks like we just got a couple of unfortunate things here. We're gonna see if Blind has this if Blind has an item here then everything's fine. But if Blind drops like a map or a compass there, then we're looking at something in the big chest, and yep, there it is. There's something in the big chest. So everything that they were trying to fight is probably still going to happen.
I say this is another reason that I say just go ahead and do Thieves Town. Even in this situation where it turns out it was nothing, a lot of times when you try to avoid it, when you don't have it, it's like, I'm not doing this until I have this item. Sometimes the item is just, that item is somewhere really deep in the seed, and you sort of fight it for as long as you can, and then you just kind of give up, bite the bullet, and then do it. You know, if Weighty had just done this the first time he was here, he would be gaining some time, and he's finally picking up that that purple chest that he missed. Unfortunately, it's nothing. So he's got to be kicking himself about obviously just a mistake before. Again, I'm not entirely sure where the mistake was, but just a little unfortunate. He does have the flute and everything now, so he can just flute down to 7 and get it.
All right. What does our good friend little purple bat have? He's given us a nice curse of, oh my god. Oh, that's just mean and cruel. And oh, so you got to flute to Mireshed, pick up your powder, leave your. Oh, that's just awful.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that, actually. That's funny.
Oh, I've seen that. It's just that's the type of thing that you see when somebody has made a plando or something. You don't usually see that as one of these. So let's just give WeightyWords. Don't listen to the commentators. Watch what WeightyWords is doing, because he's doing this right, and we're just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do too much results oriented. I mean, getting
oh dear God.
Weighty, I hate you.
Are we in go mode yet? No. Okay.
no, we're not. We still need
not
Ice
yet.
Rod.
It just feels that
Ice Rod, Red Cane.
Ice Rod.
We do. Weighty does not need the hook shot. We're gonna be mashing that A button if the hook shot never turns up. All of Death Mountain is now open. Just so much is open right now. I'm almost surprised he's handing in this purple chest, but with the flute, it's not too bad, so it makes some sense. I mean, it does make sense with the. I'm almost surprised he didn't do the powder checks. I mean, it is kind of a one-off. Why couldn't he do the? I guess
you had to get powder out of Mireshed. So
yeah. And flute was on
Pyramid.
So when did he do Pyramid? I don't remember.
He did Pyramid early, like he routed north. It was
after Catfish, and he came down into Pyramid, right? So he had that flute and the mirror right away. So I'm just wondering why he didn't do that, just mirror to 6 a lot earlier instead of like some of those desert.
I think he had done the I think he had done like the south sort of route before he went into before he went to Mireshed.
Yeah,
so like he couldn't have done powder before that.
Yeah, and I guess the only time he's going to do powder is coming back to Thieves Town.
Yeah, so WeightyWords is right now he's got just a massive advantage over Rywek, and it's nothing that Rywek can kind of do here, just because 2 of those items are just placed in some of the worst locations.
Yeah. And it's only 1 item, but I really would have preferred Rywek to Eastern first. He knows there's an item on Armos. You could spike the hammer there, right? And then you wouldn't have to double dip this. You have to complete it no matter what. The only way it saves you a mirror, which isn't that. I mean, mirrors are really long. You do want to avoid them, but I think the potential upside of being able to avoid like a pod double dip, even if it's not the hammer, even if it's just some other item that, which I guess really only can be boots at this point from Rywek's perspective, that allows you to do some other checks. I think I would prefer the Eastern play first here. It's a lot of upside, not too much downside. The downside's fixed, right? It's basically the downside's 2 extra mirrors, where the upside could be huge.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, at this point, you kind of want to. You probably should have done that Eastern Palace play. At least at that point, you could say that you've gotten a crystal, as well. Kind of get that off. And hey, there's our Ice Rod. Yeah. Okay, so now we're missing Samaria. So we're basically a Samaria from hover mode at that point.
And on the flip side, Weighty, it makes a lot more sense to do pod first because he has the bow and the hammer. He can do both. There's no reason to do the 2 extra menus. He's going to end up full clearing both. And there'll only be 1 item on Eastern. There's no reason to try to get it first. And he's got boots. There's nothing that's going to speed him up. Besides Samaria, the only but like there's no way you think like, oh, it's obviously Samaria on Armos, so I do Eastern first. So conversely, it makes more sense for Weighty to do this first as opposed to Rywek. And Rywek not even doing Eastern. That's just surprising to me.
I wouldn't be surprised if in Rywek's case right now, he's a little bit, don't usually go 53 minutes in without getting some sort of
Yeah, I can definitely see that. You're never gonna get. I mean, I guess you are. In his case, he will get that close to Eastern again. But you're right there. I mean, sure, he doesn't have boots, but boots with Desert Palace being a pendant, boots really aren't guaranteed to show up anywhere. So I just, I've talked about before, but just doing Eastern there makes the most sense. I think Rywek is having a think here.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this is from Rywek's side. Hopefully nothing too serious there. Probably just to think he picks up his flute and
think, a sneeze. This stuff happens. It turns out the people who play these games are human. Sometimes you have to sit there and take care of some business that comes up. So, but he's back on track. And he's back on the track that he needs to be here. Gonna get his fire rod. It just depends on I'm gonna do the bad commentator thing. I'm still gonna take credit for doing the Thieves Town play because the Thieves Town play is gonna give you that hammer, even though it's not technically in Thieves Town. You are gonna go over there once you get this powder. So he's hopefully this draws him back to Thieves Town now to be able to combo in those checks.
Now the one thing that if we're throwing this out there right now, Rywek is behind. We kind of know that, but the one thing that would change this in an instant is if the Samaria is sitting in that Thieves Town big chest. If that's where Samaria is, then Rywek immediately gets much more of a chance.
Yeah, but he's still got to make the bat before Thieves Town play.
Oh, there are things that need to be done. Yeah.
I don't necessarily think you do, especially with mirror, right? You just like, oh, I'll just go in the dark roll and I'll mirror and get it afterwards. I guess because you still haven't found the hammer, you might be going like, let me do this in case it's hammer, in case. I mean, especially if you are in Rywek's situation where it does look like he may be getting a little frustrated. Like we said, that is one of the most annoying places for hammer to be. So he might be just thinking like, let me see if the seed's gonna do this to me, and so he may do that. You're right. And then if he does do Thieves Town and Red Cane in Thieves Town Big Chest is probably Rywek's best hope. But basically Red Cane needs to be buried in a very bad location, and Rywek needs to make the play for it first. Is Rywek's only real hope right now.
Right. With any luck, what he's realized is that Fire Rod doesn't actually open up anything for him. The powder might. Hopefully that's what he realizes, but we're going to find out in about 10 seconds here because he's walking his way down, skipping Thieves Town. Okay, I think this might be the magic bat play.
Yeah, it is. Weighty having a very nice Helma fight. Just missed the final spin there. The sword extends the hammer hitbox, so you can normally if you don't have the sword out, the hammer's it's pixel perfect to actually hammer Helma. Holding the sword out actually extends it a little bit, allows you to get the hits in on him. Weighty getting 3 really nice hits there. Then he missed the spin to finish him off, but then just finished him off with 2 quick slashes. Didn't even take any damage. It was very well done.
We're assuming that WeityWords will hover, because if we're assuming that he can hover, then WeityWords just hit go mode because that Red Cane just dropped off a Helmasaur.
Yeah,
so that would be a 57-minute go mode-ish.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Weighty can, so...
Well, good news is Rywek here out of Hammer Pegs is going to grab himself a boot, so he can at least start going fast. And if he
I guess I have to...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go. You go. I'll say something very jokey.
Oh. Well, no. I'm just saying, if Rywek immediately gets to pod, maybe he can get himself into go mode as well, and maybe Weighty. I mean, hovering's not easy, so calling hover mode there's days where it just won't go for you. So we'll see what happens with that yet. I mean, hookshot, it would still make things a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, hookshot could be in GT, and there is another way to get across that Moldorm gap without hovering. The old Moldorm bounce, known by several names.
Yeah, the Moldorm bounce is one of those things that if you pull it off, you look absolutely amazing doing it, but generally it's not something
or if you
overly viable for normal people.
Or if you save and quit during it, you look kind of silly. Which is because of the way the select buffer menus work. Like, you can hold down in a select menu only if you start holding down before the menu came up. If not, you're going to actually go down to save and quit. And I've seen many people fail it that way. I have failed it that way. It is pretty hilarious. And you have to do all of GT again.
Okay, well, yeah, Rywek is choosing to do a bunch of the overworld checks right now, instead of going and finishing off any of the crystals.
Yeah, I think this is I think a little bit of a desperation play now. The problem is these locations really aren't that out of the way, so even if this is the answer, Weighty is going to stumble on this sooner than later. We know Rywek doesn't have a lot of outs here. Even in Rywek's mind, I don't think he sees a lot of outs. I mean, if I was in Rywek's shoes, I think the main thing I would be thinking is, okay, Hammer was in a really bad spot. Let's hope my opponent just also missed this forever. And Weighty did miss it for a while. It's not like he beelined to it and got it super early. And just hard chase down all those Hammer locations and hope that finishes out the scene, which is actually what is going to happen, besides wherever that hookshot is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing at this point, trying to figure out where this hookshot is. I mean, I'm hesitant to call anything go mode until that hookshot is 100% found, just because it's not a whole lot of fun to slam that, A button repeatedly and make yourself magically float across the gap there.
We
might
see here
exceptionally difficult.
How comfortable Weighty. Okay, I was hoping that was the big key and Weighty would go for the Meyer hover. Unfortunately, it's not. Also, Weighty would be very mad at me if I didn't say that he had a very nice Meyer too. So nice job, Weighty.
That Meyer too, if you get that right there, that's another one of those rooms that you just look exceptionally cool if you pull that one off.
Okay, now I'm gonna yell at Weighty for getting the key and the chest in the wrong order in that room. Shameful, Weighty. It's always interesting to see the Meyer routing is just kind of a pain with some of these one-off locations. There's a chest above the grate back in the main room. A lot of times I just double back to get it before coming to these left rooms. There's really not a clean way of doing this. It looks like Weighty is going to be doing that now. If there is a key in that small chest, or that chest that Weighty just opened, it turns out for some quirk of the logic that the big key has to be in its vanilla location, which is behind the cutscene wall. So he didn't find a key there, so I guess he's coming back out and just kind of looking for where this big key could possibly be.
It looks like he's going to go for the chest over here.
Yeah, he's putting up the cut. The cutscene's like 11 seconds long, so or 17 seconds long. It's really bad, so some people just like avoiding it, and it pays off for Weighty right here.
Yeah, a lot of times if you find a map or a compass out of that one chest, the one chest above the switch is there, a lot of times that means there's an item below you or one of the other things. It's not typical that you'll find the big key there. It can be there, but it seems to be more rare.
And Rywek confirming what we've been inspecting. There was nothing in that big chest. Again, I've harped on this a couple times, but this is just why, like, I just hate putting this off just because of the hammer. It's just such a thin play that something is actually going to be in there. Something is going to be in there, and the hammer, and the hammer is going to be relatively easily accessible. And there's nothing else in Thieves that need progression. Like, there's so many things that have to stack up for it to be it. I feel like when you play Randomizer, there's a couple of plays you just have to go, if this is how the seed's going to beat me and someone's going to make that play, then so be it. And, like, you can't worry about every single permutation, because you'll go mad, honestly.
Definitely. Weighty showing off a nice little spooky action glitch there, as Rywek had a perfect blind fight of his own on that side. So we're gonna still seeing some fairly good execution from both of these runners here. Now Weighty's gonna choose to use the
Weighty, good.
I've never seen this way. Usually you run up right into the goo and smack them. This is
especially with the amount of heart. Like, he knows how to do, like, the tempered strat. The Master Sword strat's basically the same thing. You just have to do some extra spins, and he had a pile of health. You can spin with the cape too, so if he did mess it up a little bit and took an extra hit, he could have just flicked on the cape real quick to finish it off. But he decided to go with that.
That was a new tactic to me. I'll be honest, that worked very well. I mean, it maybe wasn't the fastest way you could have done that, but you lured all those eyes down onto you, so they didn't get to bounce around, and you didn't have to chase them at all. They just came right to you, and you got to just massacre them like that. That was really great there. So fill up his magic here real fast. Fill up his bottles, because he still is Master Sword Silverless right now, which, I mean, neither of these runners are going to have any difficulty doing Master Sword Silverless. It's just more a matter of, it's not a fun fight, and you always do want some backups just in case, because it can go wrong in the most worst possible ways here. As Rywek is slowly making his way back over to the Helmasaur King, where he's going to pick up his Cane of Samaria. Now, something I'm really interested in is not locked.
Weighty remembering needs the key. Gets through that second ice room. There's just no good way of doing it. So. It's got a very creative name, too. It's called Ice 2, because it's the second room in ice. We are good at room names.
Oh, okay, so that tells you everything you need to know about how comfortable Weighty feels with where he is. He's treating himself as he's in go mode right now, because he had a chance to check those chests there and just said, forget it, I'm going.
The giveaway was when he skipped cutscene chest. If he was thinking about hookshot at all, he would check it. Now, like, it's not a terrible idea. Like, I wouldn't have mind him actually checking the that first chest. Really, there's a bunch of items that could speed him up. Hookshot will, of course, just let him get through. Gain his tower a little bit faster. There's a couple places where it slows you down. Not that you have to do hovers, but you have to do bonks in the spike skip room, the big one off to the left, the tall one, and then you have to do the hover, which is just, unless you nail it perfectly, is generally going to be a little slower than just using the hookshot there and killing Moldorm. So, like, getting the hookshot's going to speed him up. He also doesn't have silver arrows, and he also doesn't have tempered sword. So he's in for kind of a long Ganon fight here, so he probably will be checking some of these items, and does a very nice low percent strat there, placing 2 bombs down, blocking over the pen gators in that room.
And the drops that they were given today, he just immediately gets all of his bombs back and more. Unfortunately, you could only carry 10 at the moment, so yeah.
Yeah, I hope he kills these freeze ores and gets his chest. He does not. That's surprising, honestly. There's just so he's in, like I said, he's in for a really tough Ganon fight. And again, not that it's tough. Weighty can obviously get there. He's got the cape. It's just slow. It takes a good extra minute and a half over if you either found the tempered sword or you find silvers. It's like a minute and a half over tempered. Finding silvers would save you like probably a minute over 24 Master Sword spins. So I would prefer him to be opening some of these chests. You kind of have to find a balance. That freezer one is relatively quick though.
Ooh, just absolutely light and cold stare up right there. That was an very, very fast fight there. Picks up just a pack of 3 bombs. Yeah, and and that gives him his 6th crystal. So on our way up to the mountain here, and we're gonna get some Turtle Rock real fast. I imagine that's where he's going to spend most of his time looking for his sword, because Turtle Rock seems like one of those things where so much of that you're likely going to have to clear whether you're in go mode or not. That's probably where he's hoping to find something sort of tempered. And Weighty, you don't have the money for that.
Oh, those fill up your arrows, right?
Yeah, those completely, that would have put him back up to 35 arrows just immediately there. But gonna need more than the 73 rupees that he has. That's pretty funny right there.
I actually never knew that, and I saw like a pretty decent, I forget who it was, but it was like a runner who I knew was good, get them one time. I'm like, what the hell? And it filled up all their counts. Like, oh, that's actually really convenient. But of course I just forgot about it, and I was wondering, why is Weighty going in there?
Right. No, I've done that a couple of times, especially if I've got something horrible like a fighter sword vitreous fight or something like that, and then it's just kind of going, you know what? I'm just gonna go huck 20 bombs at him real fast, and then I'll go back in there and deal with him. So, let's take a quick look. What do we got here on the ledge here? If I'm not mistaken, we've never been over to Paradox Cave today, have we?
We have not. Because the hammer was so late, and then the hammer, at that point, I'm sure going to do pod, and like I said, that Pyramid Fairy play that I was prattling on about that ended up being nothing, would have been in play with the Eastern, but, pod just pretty much finished off the seed for Weighty and just never had to come up here. The hammer was our only access over here. We still don't have hookshot. So, yeah, we've never done Paradox. We've never done, I mean, it's some of those convenience items I was talking about, the silver arrows, hookshot, or tempered, probably somewhere over here on Death Mountain. There's so many locations.
Now, Rywek's going to actually show us what's in these chests here, because I guess he probably doesn't feel as confident in his ability to hover there. Pulls the big key out of the first chest. Rywek is going to give us some good information here at the very least, because if we find a small key or something here, we've got, then we're not hookshot locked, and then, God knows where that thing is. But if we find it before, then that gives us a little bit of information that it's not in GT at least.
Yeah, even if Rywek can't hover, I would expect him to sort of be doing a half go mode here. If he knows his opponent can, you really, at that point, you can't go too far out of your way to find hookshot and find it. So he's going to be hoping it's in his path. So I don't expect him to full clear ice here looking for it. Even if he gets all the way up GT without hookshot at that point, he might just, time to put in the GGs.
Sit there and cry.
Yeah. Or
cry
if he,
on your
I'm not
controller
100% on. Oh well, okay. There. So it is going to be in path. It is going to be in path. We're not going to see the hover, unfortunately, today.
And now, yeah, that is 100% go mode at 1 hour and 11 minutes and 50 seconds there for WeightyWords. He's got a massive lead. He's going to need for Rywek, something pretty incredible will have to happen to get him back in this race, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's one of those situations that we want good races. We want it to be close at the end. This is one of those situations that the things that would have to happen to Weighty for Rywek to make it close, I would not want to wish on anyone. So, unfortunately, it's just going to be Weighty's just going to maintain this lead throughout the rest of the seed, finish it up. But I mean, this is one of the faster seeds I've actually seen in this tournament so far. Really mean early, and then once you kind of got past that mid-game bottleneck, finally picking up your sword, solving the riddle of the hammer. Once you got that hammer, the seed was pretty much over right after that. So it took them a little bit while to find that hammer, just because it was an annoying location that they didn't really want to go to. But once we found that, the rest of it just unfolded real quick. So it's probably looking at like a what we got, like 5 minutes in here. Maybe Weighty can finish this under 130 if we have a really nice GT key, a really early one, like on Torch or something.
I think that's a pretty good guess there. I'm gonna go like something like a 1. Yeah, it's probably about a 1, somewhere in the high 120s is probably a good guess, I think.
Yeah, Weighty, like if it was a completely standard GT, Weighty would be coming in with like a 730-ish Ganon's tower, plus 2 minutes for Ganon. A little bit more if he doesn't find the tempered. That's like 9, then like 5 for the rest of this. So yeah, somewhere around there.
Well,
Why did... Was Big Key vanilla? The Big Key must have been vanilla for Weighty to come this way.
Must have been.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Well, and we're moving on with Rywek here. Not finding anything in Ice Palace that's going to kind of help him gain any sort of time back. No tempered sword, no silvers or anything like that. Yeah, Weighty not even caring about the bars at this point. Walking right through things.
You know, as we saw Weighty obviously just go among this, kind of like giving us the tip off that he's fully ready to hover this. Rywek is giving us the tip off that he's not is not confident in his ability to do it, or just cannot do it. Like I said, if you're in that situation, and you realize it's a hover seed, you kind of got to realize your only chance is it being in path, and I think you just got to go for it in a one-on-one like this. In a big group race, you know, it's like you just want to finish and get a decent time. It makes more sense to hunt it down. But in these one-on-ones, when you're playing someone who can hover, or can do one of the tricks that you can't do, like maybe like a mimic clip or something, I think you got to turn on the jets and hope the seed just gives it to you, which it would in this case. So.
Definitely. And this is one of those things here, like if you're Rywek, and not to assume anything at this point, but if you're getting to, if your opponent is a known hoverer here and you've lost game 1, you know, what modes would you be choosing usually? I mean, I think like a 6-6 mode, you wouldn't want to do that just because of the possibility of running into hover or mimic clip or something like that, where some of those lesser known strats there that can really mess you up really quickly.
Yeah, Weighty opting to first of all, Weighty had a very good switch room. Did a very nice cane dash in there. He's going to be doing some front door strats here on Trinex. With Master Sword, it's pretty difficult to get a 1 cycle, so he's just going to opt to stay in the front here and use. He's got a half magic, so he's just not bothering going to hammer. He's just going to use some extra shots and Master Sword to get Trinex down here, bring him into the second phase. Very nicely done fight. Just didn't take a hit. Got it. I think it was like a 2 cycle, which is pretty good with Master Sword. That's pretty much the best you can do with Masher without using some. I guess I'll call them obscure tech. We'll go with.
Yeah, a little bit more, lesser practiced maybe, but it's still very good there, very quick, getting that done without any problem, and that's our 7th crystal, just like that. So time to guess some numbers, it looks like here. So if you want really quick, get your things in chat, get your numbers in chat really fast. I guess I gotta run the bot here.
Okay, everyone who does this, I'm gonna fix this for you. Do not use hookshot on the Lionels. Hammer the Lionel. Go to hammer and hammer him, and you will never run into this problem. The Lionels do not take damage from the Master Sword. You can do it with Tempered Sword, you can just dash right through him. But you can just dash over there, hammer him, he'll get out of the way. Drives me nuts. There is a Christos clip out there that shows you exactly why you do not want to use the hookshot there. Or, as has also been mentioned, just run through the Lionel if you have red mail and 14 hearts. It also works pretty well. Weighty, you're going to want that key. There you go. So we'll see what route he chooses here. Do you have any preference in routing on this?
Oh, GT routing is just one of those things that it feels like a lot of times you never take the right route.
Yeah, so
you want to, but you don't really take it.
Yeah, I do what Weighty's doing right here, which is doing left and then coming right. What this does is guarantees you a key to go right here, because you need a key to get through this the door entire room. If there's not a small key in here, a lot of people try to go full right and then they'll come back left. If you do that left, like juke first, you can always get through this right door. Some people have kind of mapped this out. This strat is kind of like one of those ones that like versus any other strat, it loses like the least cumulative amount of time to it, no matter where the key is. And then it doesn't really beat too many. The only one it beats is people who try to go full right and the big key is on the right, because they will end up doing that one last. But I think like if you got some pretty decent execution, or you think you have the execution advantage in your match, I really like this route because it minimizes your downside. It gives you one potential huge upside. And like I think that's the big thing in GT is just trying to minimize your downside as much as possible.
Right, so, and just like that was number, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sure. 1 on the left, because everyone counts the torch for some reason. 4, that's 5, 7, 11.
11. Okay.
Weighty using dash buffers there. I usually see people use sword buffers for that strat. That's pretty interesting. I haven't seen that too often.
Moving through this really quick here. Weighty's going to make his way up the gauntlet here. So really quick, if you can as well, do give these runners a follow. This has been a really excellent show here. We've seen quite a few nasty placements from some of these items there as Weighty gets that nice cannonball room dash there. Just the execution here has been really fun to watch today.
Yeah, doing that Ganon Ball Z dash, as it's affectionately known. There's a bunch of patterns in there, something like 32 or something, but there's basically just a couple individual patterns you have to memorize. There's a couple you can't really get it on, and you'll just have to end up walking through. But it's not too bad once you start being able to recognize it. Oh, he gets a nice. That's a pretty lucky hit, getting that dash into the spike there. He actually hit the horse head into the spike there, so the horse took damage from the spike and killing it. These gauntlet rooms with Master Sword are pretty rough, and Weighty just doing a very nice job on it. That is a really good Master Sword gauntlet, except for G5, but G5 is bad, so I can't really. That's not really on Weighty. That's just what that room does to you. And not getting the greatest ammo pattern, missing a shot there, so we have to set up for a 2-cycle.
Alright, and on he goes up the thing here, up to probably the most satisfying room in the entire tower here. You just put your block down, explode it, and everything dies.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy.
Really good.
Pretty easy strat. That first one's pretty easy. This second one is a little bit trickier to get. You're gonna put it to the left here, blow it up, and then you have to slash that last guy. Even Wizards 2 isn't too bad to do with a little bit of practice. Wizards 1 is pretty easy if you want to give it a shot. Just gotta come down, put the block down, blow it up. And this room, doing torches 1, ooh boy, this room is impossible to do well. And Weighty doing a pretty good job of it. He accidentally carried that pot a little bit too long, which is just something that happens, but had a pretty good clean room besides that. Gonna get this magic here that we need for upstairs. Meanwhile, Rywek finishing off his Vitreous fight. He's still gonna need to finish Turok and Hera. So this is a pretty massive gap that we've got right here, unfortunately. But just a couple unfortunate things happened to Rywek early in the seed. You know, a bad hammer location that he managed to dodge for way too long. So just one of those things that happens. And like I said, Weighty is just solid all around. You can't really afford to make mistakes against him, and just unfortunate the way this one turned out for Rywek here.
Yeah, this is one of those times where
Weighty.
Just trying your best to, you know, make the right plays and such like that. And unfortunately, your opponent just was a little bit better today, it looks like. But
yeah.
Trolldorm doing his thing and knocking people off his platform just because.
Really nice strat if with Master Sword here. Even with Tempered, it turns out it's useful sometimes. Just hook shot allows Molten to pass through you. What you want to do is you actually want to release that spin while the hook shot's in there. I think Weighty, the reason Weighty got hit there is I think he's holding on to it until the hook shot is finished. Because I'm pretty sure it should guarantee you a hit. But Molten was a really bad spot where that first one happened.
I've never seen that strat before, so I'm just watching Weighty, I'm learning things here. So that's pretty impressive, honestly.
Yeah, it honestly, like, I've only seen it relatively recently, and in retrospect, it's a really obvious strat. A lot more useful with the Master Sword than with Tempered Sword. But even with Tempered Sword, if he gives you some bad patterns, it could be useful to bring out.
Sorry, the Weighty just pulled a nice triple there, so that was a 2-3-1 right there, and a very, very quick 3-cycle Aga 2, and we're gonna go and chase down this pig, and yeah, it's time for the Ganon fight already here at an hour and 24 in already.
Yeah, he might still get this fight is not short with the equipment Weighty has. This is pretty close to a true low percent fight. He does have half magic, which will help out a little bit here. But he's got unfortunately, Ganon can only be damaged with spins with the Master Sword. So it's actually going to take 12 spins in both the first phase and the second phase. What he's going to be hoping for here is once he gets him to that second phase, for Ganon to end up in one of the top corners, and you can double spin him down. The first phase is a little bit trickier to get through quickly. Hopefully Weighty will be going for a couple of trident spins here to double him up on the top. Unfortunately didn't get it there, let go a little too early.
I'll admit I'm a little surprised that Weighty's not going for the Samaria strats here on Ganon. I kind of figured that with the Master Sword, that's probably something he was going to be doing, but...
Yeah, they don't really actually... Because you can get double hits on him with those trident spins. Weighty didn't do it perfectly, but just going to the Samaria does take a little more time than if you just go without. And it's also you have to practice it, so it's just something whether or not you practice or not. Using the cave here is pretty smart. He's getting those double spins in. Like I said, I don't think he can one cycle. Oh, he did one cycle though. It was very, very well done. That would be a very hard pattern to one cycle without the cape, and he's got the magic to spare, especially if he uses lamp on phase 4 coming up here.
All right, now everybody, again here, once we get into phase 4, we are looking for a 24 spins, so he's still got quite a ways to go before Ganon goes down here. The arrows were in GT, just not in a room that we went to, unfortunately. All right, gets the torch glitch, and here we go.
Yeah, does Weighty have a potion? He's gonna have to be a little careful here. With a full magic bar, you could do this phase of Ganon with just Fire Rod if you don't miss a single triple.
Weighty picked up 2 blues, so yeah, he's completely fine. Okay. Yeah, as long as something doesn't happen where he takes a fire bat and gets knocked off or something here, he should be completely fine on health and magic.
Yeah, getting these triples on these phases is just something that takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of timing. What you want to do is get that torch lit the second Ganon lands, and you'll have the most amount of time to get over there. Unfortunately, just whiffing one right there, that happens. It's just really hard fight to do perfectly. But Weighty's doing a very good job keeping Ganon in triples this entire time. He's going to go fill his magic back up, go right back to Fire Rod, and he's going to finish this fight off.
All right, Rywek over there is working his way through Spike Cave.
Oh, jeez, Weighty. Oh, you gave me a heart attack.
That one was close.
Yeah, he lit the torch
Don't
right
s-
where Landon was landing. He does have plenty of hearts. He can take a hit here easily, but
I might have
what you're
knocked
really
him
worried
off.
about is, yeah, knocking him off. I mean, a fall here, Weighty's still going to win this match, but you don't want to see it. As someone who has died and fallen to Ganon a little bit more than I would like to admit, it's not a good experience, and especially when you're a player of Weighty's skill, you just feel embarrassed when it happens. But Weighty finishing out the fight very nicely, proving me right, getting that sub 190.
Yep, it looks like it. And I guess that's a first place finish there for WeightyWords with a time SRL time of 1 hour 28 minutes and 10 seconds there. So go ahead, get your GGs in for chat, and we're hopefully we'll be able to get both of them in here for a little bit of a chat real fast.
Yeah, we'll be joined by them shortly, right here. But yeah, it was
on Rywek's side.
A little, pretty good match. A little bit of just some bad placement in the early game, and then just kind of blew open. And we're joined both by Weighty and Rywek right now. GGs to both of you, especially you, Weighty, for winning this match for 128.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So, wait, I'll start with you. The mid game was really the big, just like confusion point in this, and the kind of thing we were harping on here was the whole, you could have done Thieves Town, and then especially with that bow, you could have done Eastern, and that would have given you Pyramid Fairy, and then you kind of went all over the place before those plays back. So I guess I'll ask, why avoid those two dungeons for so long?
So Thieves Town, I was gonna do on my first try. I was gonna go, like, I checked the first floor and I was going to the back, but then like because I took that early route to Pyramid and Catfish before going to the Village of Outcasts, so I got that flute early, and then as I was doing Thieves Town, I remembered I never checked the Mire area, so I kind of like doubled back on going to Thieves Town, did the rest of South Dark World, and then checked that Mire area. So I kind of ended up working out because I got that powder before going back and doing Thieves Town, so I was gonna be in the area and do powder anyways. Because my next step was gonna be going into Pod with that bow, Pod and Eastern. So it just ended up working out that that route that I took to get that early flute just reminded me that I hadn't checked that yet.
Yeah, we were thinking at some point the play was looking like Thieves Town. And then do Eastern and Pod.
Yep.
And then maybe do Pyramid Fairy if that thing's in Pod, because you were really thin. But like both of you put off that play for a very long time. With Rywek, it made he unfortunately missed that sword for a long time.
The one on Mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
His first sword was Smith's. The funny thing is, like, you went up there and like you found the sword, and so we were like, oh, okay, this is blowing open the seed for you. And then when Rywek finally went up there, it's like, well, it was big for Weighty, but it's not going to be big for Rywek because he's got a sword already. Like, Master's nice, but
yeah.
But Rywek, I guess I'll ask you the same question, kind of just that whole mid-game routing, putting off the Thieves play. You did end up going to Powder first. I kind of read that as...
Wow.
No, I meant you went to Powder first before going into Thieves Town, is what I meant to say.
Okay.
You did get it. I mean, that was what the big gap was in this seed. So I guess just if you want to talk about like that mid-game as well, with some of your thoughts.
Honestly, like the entire seed was not going well for me. Just the very beginning, the first 2 minutes, I missed out on the front of escape. That was bad, and my morale was like already super low. Hammers so far, and then when I found the Samaria, I was heartbroken because, well, this is a hover seed. I can't hover. Weighty can. And that's why I went to ice afterwards, because I needed to confirm, okay, well, is the hook shot going to be before GT or after, to see if it was hook shot locked. So
yeah, I was kind of rooting for you. It's pretty obvious from our side how what people's thoughts on hovering is by what they're doing. Weighty turn on the jets, and then you started checking stuff. I was kind of rooting for you to just kind of also turn on the jets and just because when you're in that situation, if the hook shot's either in path or you're probably not going to win. So I was hoping you were, and it ended up being in path. So
that's
I was kind of hoping you were going to do that, and then you started doing ice. I was like, well, you were already. I mean, it was at that point you were already a little behind because.
Oh, I was way behind at that point.
Yeah.
But I was. I don't know. Like I said, I was kind of giving up here, and like I'll just go to every random location I can think of to see if I can find the hook shot, and hope WeightyWords is stuck for 20 minutes after Moldorm trying to hover. That was the only thing that I could bet on, honestly.
The funny thing is this: we didn't even see a hover attempt in this seed because of where that hook shot was, and
I was getting pumped to hover.
Yeah, I was too. I was like, oh, I want to see this, and like,
because I've never really
put the big
done
key in
the
Meyer.
Moldorm 2.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't hovered Moldorm 2?
Not in a tourney race, no.
Man, wait, let me tell you about the good word of no EG.
I was practicing hovering a little bit before, and I was maybe like a 50-50 on it. So I felt good about trying it when I did hit go mode minus the hook shot. So I wasn't too worried because getting it within like 2 or 3 attempts is definitely way faster. I had like all of Death Mountain, like 6 different dungeons I could clear, so I wasn't gonna like check like one-offs and stuff to try to find the hook shot.
I was a little surprised you skipped Freezer chest. That one's pretty fast, and it, like not just the hook shot, but you like, I mean, you had to do that Ganon fight that you had to end up doing. I thought you were gonna check a little bit more. I mean, it was a very good Master Sword Ganon, I will say.
Thanks. So, I missed a couple triples, but otherwise I'm happy with it.
I know. Rywek just saying he's got to head out. If they got any other questions, if you want to say anything else, if not, GG and good luck on your next match.
No, thank you. I already know what I'm picking, and that's going to be Fast Ganon.
I figured.
Hey, if you're against somebody who's, if there's somebody who has better execution than you and or can hover, Fast Ganon is just the best way to go.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much for commentating. I'm heading over to the Francophones and see you.
Yep. All right. GG's.
GG.
Yeah, I don't know if we have much else for you, Weighty. I try to mix it up a little bit with complimenting you and shaming you at the same time.
I expect a lot of dunking on. There was a lot of things I could be dunked on in that.
Yeah, so. You're Viddy for one. That definitely got. I mean, it's perfectly safe strat,
hey, that is a legitimate strat.
Get out of here with your legitimate strat.
Hey, you can't die if you use that strat. It's not. It's, you get a 2-cycle using that strat, so it's not like that bad. Master Sword, so.
Killing me, Weighty. A 2-cycle?
Yeah, it's a 2-cycle.
Oh my god. But yeah, I think that's more or less it. All of our witty banter that we're putting off here. Unless you got anything else, Weighty, you really want to talk about? Seed was mean then nice. It seemed like just getting that hammer, just turn it open.
Yeah. Other than like once we found the hammer, and then I was like looking for things, and then like just going to pod, getting go mode, being like, oh, it's a hover seed. I can hover. I'm really excited. And then turns out hookshot was there, and I couldn't like actually prove to the world that I could hover. So I was a little bit bummed about that. But yeah, it was a really fast. I got lucky that I got to skip literally all of Death Mountain and so many go mode dungeons, so it worked out in my favor.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a pretty good match. I mean, you did get that early lead, so the outcome wasn't really in question towards the end of it. But
yeah.
At least we got the boots. We got to see some cool stuff. We didn't get to see a hover though, so that's unfortunate. Didn't get to see the oldie bounce. That
I was actually practicing the bounce a little bit before too. I didn't get it. I'm awful at it. I don't know how people do it. But...
It's bad. I was talking about a little bit. The hardest part of it is not saving and quitting, honestly, because you want to.
Oh my god, I've done that before. Yeah, in practice so many times.
Yeah, it's rough. So, but it's kind of annoying to get. It is, if you can't hover, it is something that you can do with a little bit of practice. You can make it fairly consistent. There are setups for it now, so Moldorm's got to cooperate. But if you're struggling with hovering, you may want to check it out. But Daze, do you have any questions? I've kind of taken over this part of it. Just
Oh no, man, you've been doing great. So I just said it. I was just gonna sit here and let you go. I was I was having fun listening to you two.
Yeah,
No,
I got-
I can't really say I have anything to say, honestly. Weighty, you had some really good execution in a couple of those rooms there. The Meyer 2 was good. You had a pretty smooth gauntlet going up there. I mean, it was fun to watch.
Thanks, appreciate it.
yeah, that your gauntlet was actually pretty good. You got that nice kill.
Yeah,
with
you don't really
G4.
get to practice that Master Sword Gauntlet that much, but I'm glad it went pretty well.
Yeah, I mean G5 went off the rails, but G5 is
Yeah,
terrible. So
don't worry about that. I should have switched to the Fire Rod, but like we won't talk about that.
yeah, you should have.
You know, it's understandable. You go for that arrow shot, and you're just hoping that Stalfos does what he's supposed to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
not today.
I should be going for that, but
Well, you never threw the boomerang, so your spooky would have been off. So I maybe going to bow there. Yes,
Yeah,
this is incredibly detailed stuff we are talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, GG, very nice game.
Thanks.
I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I actually remember to bring up the schedule so I can talk about what's coming on next. Once I figure out what time it is.
There is a lot coming on right now.
There is a
if
lot.
anybody is still going, yeah, we've got races all night. Go ahead and tell us about them.
Let's see. We have right now. We got Amazing Ampharos and Doom Tap is going on right now. It started at 9:20, so that's going to be about halfway through. Doom is a just top tier guy. Does not know rando, so you're going to see a lot of great strats and a lot of weird routing. That's going to be a great one to watch. And then also going on right now is this match, and Sabatander and Andy started at 9:22. So I don't think much to talk about that one. Everyone knows what's going to be going on in that match. So two really great matches going on. So check out either one of those, and some more stuff coming on later tonight as well. We got William J. Bradley versus Asder at 11:20 on Speed Gaming 1. Should be another good match. But check out those matches. Also, follow my co-commentator here, Days Cloud, who did a really great job today. Fun commenting with you. Shout outs to our tracker, Mr. Broadstone, just keeping everything locked down in chat. And definitely follow our runners, WeightyWords and Rywek here. Two really good runners, really fun to watch. So put on good streams. But I think that is all that I have to say.
Yeah, and I'll throw it right back to everyone else there. Go ahead and give Duck a follow as well. Yeah, this has been a ton of fun sitting there doing it. Don't do it? Okay, don't give Duck a follow because he doesn't want it. But
yeah, mine is a horrifying stream.
Oh, well, hey, I mean, I can't say too much about mine either. So, but yeah, thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. We'll be back again later with some more rando. Check in throughout the week. Lots of races up until GDQ, and then gonna slow down for a little bit, and then pick right back up again.
Yep. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your night, whatever you're doing, and good luck to all those other matches that are on today. And I will see you later.
Take care, everyone.